Not really sure where to start with this, but I promise I won't cry. I'm good. It comes in waves, but it is what it is. So I guess I'll just start with how I found out. In my previous video, I had mentioned that I have a cycle that's like clockwork. It's 24 days. The last couple of months, it's been maybe 25, 26 days because I've been doing some things to, elongate it in a healthy way. But before I get my period, I always spot for about a day or two. That's kind of like my sign that my period is coming. Because I'm actively trying, I know exactly when I ovulate, I know all of those things. So I finally kind of wait before I test. So I've made it to a point where I can actually, wait at least 10 days after ovulation and not 3 to 4. After ovulation. That's not going to show you a positive even if you're pregnant. But I thought that 10 days DPO, days past ovulation, that would show a positive if I'm pregnant, right? So if I'm pregnant, it would be a positive by day 10. And this is about, let's say, 3 days before my expected period. So with all the marketing that, tests like First Response give, that, 5 days before you miss period, you can detect it. So I figured that taking the test on that day, if I was pregnant, I would be. Day 10, I was not. And then the day after I took that test, I started spotting, and it was approximately 2 days before I was expected to get my period. So I was like, oh, okay, whatever, this month I'm out, spotting starting, I'm gonna get my period soon. So the day of my expected period comes around, and it was kind of a day of running around more than usual for that day. There was a family gathering with family I haven't seen in a while. Then we had dinner with friends of ours, and I thought I was getting my period, so I put in a disc or something just in case, because I didn't want to be out and about and not have anything with me. Technically didn't start, but by nighttime when we got home, it was kind of a spotting. Sorry if this is TMI, you can fast forward this part. There was like an actual sign of my period. It wasn't just spotting. There was a little bit of redness to it. So I was like, okay, no problem. Like overnight, I'm sure it'll start. Tomorrow morning, I'll have my period. The next day comes around and it's still not there. Still not there, spot from time to time. But I'm like, what's going on? I started taking new supplements, so I figured maybe they're doing something different, to my body. Maybe something is in its adjustment period. I didn't really know. So then I'm like, let me just take a pregnancy test because it's the day after my period and there's still no period. I take a test, kind of those packet ones. And in my mind, if you're already testing after your expected period, like the line will pop up right away, right? In my mind, I was like, it should be super dark. Right away, there shouldn't be much of a wait time. So I take the test and I don't see anything. I see the control line. I don't see anything while the test is still loading. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't know what's going on. So I put it down. I walk away and I don't know. I don't come back to it for maybe 20 minutes at least. So I come back, I look at the test, and I see a very, very faint line, like super faint. I'm part of a lot of Facebook groups in terms of the Trying to Conceive Facebook groups. And I see all the time women talking about line eyes and how they see something that might not be there, and how there's something called an evaporation line. Like if you look at your test outside of the window that you're supposed to, they could give you a false positive because it's an evap line. So in my mind, I was like, that's what that is. Like there's no way, like it has to be that. But obviously I take another test. I actually wait the time that I'm supposed to look at it, and there's a second line. There's a second line. It's still very faint, but it's definitely there. There is a second line there. Oh my God, there's still a line there. Just to put things into perspective, I have never held a positive pregnancy test in my hands. I've never held friends' ones, obviously. That's not really a thing. And I've never physically seen a positive pregnancy test in my hands until that day. So I go on to take 3 or 4 more tests with the lines. Yes, I have 3 different kinds of pregnancy tests on hand, and they're all showing some sort of faint line, all of them. And I still don't believe it. I still don't believe it. My husband was home with me at that time, and I was like, that's it. We are going to Target We are getting a test that says pregnant or not pregnant, because I feel like my eyes and my body is playing tricks on me. Like I don't believe it. So we run to Target, we get the test that actually says whether or not you're pregnant, says the word, and this is how it went. Ready? So the week that I found out that I was pregnant, I watched that video every single day. It's very difficult to watch that video now. It was just really hard to let myself feel that it was real, that it wasn't my eyes or my body playing tricks on me. Like I was pregnant. Less than a week later, I started cramping really badly during the middle of the night. I kind of felt cramping all throughout that week. Nothing abnormal, nothing that felt weird. Still was spotting here and there, but nothing that I saw to be concerned. But one night I started cramping really badly, and I slept horribly that night. And by 6 a.m. I was full on bleeding. Not spotting, just complete bleeding. Now, I had never been pregnant before, so, you know, a very small part of me was like, is this normal? Like, is this part of it? I know there's implantation bleeding that is technically the spotting. I don't think you're supposed to have like a full flow of anything. But like, what did I know? I never was pregnant before, so just a teeny tiny part of me thought like, maybe this is normal, maybe everything is still okay. My husband especially was super convinced that everything was okay, like he was still super positive, still, you know, trying to keep my head up, and I know my body, and this didn't feel right at all. Like I felt like something was wrong, and I had an early miscarriage. Technically, I think if it's anything under 6 weeks is called a chemical pregnancy. Some women refer to it as an early miscarriage. I mean, whatever you want to call it. I was pregnant and then I wasn't. So I don't really think the label matters much, you know. But that day, that morning, I had my own skincare business, and I had a full day of clients that day. So, you know, when you own your own business, it's very difficult to take a step back from it. That is my income. If I don't have that, if I'm not physically working, then there is no income. So I went to work. I went to work for the whole day. In hindsight, I think it was a good thing because it kept me distracted. It didn't let me fully immerse into those emotions yet. And I think at the end of it all, it helped me get through it because I had to put a smile on and I had to do my job. But, you know, there's a lot of articles that I read that state like early miscarriages or, you know, chemical pregnancies sometimes resemble a period, and some women don't even know they're having it if they're not, you know, actively trying or tracking anything. That is not a period. That is not a period. I've never had something like that, obviously. And, you know, in between clients, I was just sitting in the bathroom passing it. You know, it was really early, but it was so painful. And to all you women who have to, you know, go through that at a later time, whether that be naturally or getting a D&C, I don't really know the standards for when you're supposed to get what, but it hurts. It hurts a lot. I swear to you, I felt like I was dilating at one point, and that was not a period. But I made it through the day, thankfully. I finally made it home. I lost it emotionally on my way home. It just kind of hit me, smacked me right in the face. But I made it home and was able to rest for the next couple of days. Now, as painful as all of this was, I do have to say that it gave me hope. It gave me hope in a way that I haven't felt in a really long time. Not once was I pregnant before. So something happened where the sperm made it to the egg and fertilized it. And something worked. Like, the hope that I felt from that, I think made me at least be able to go through it a little more smoother. I mean, emotion's still emotion, but something worked. With everything that I've been doing, this was just a huge win, and I had to and have to keep reminding myself of that. And in terms of looking for the positive in any situation, otherwise you can just fall apart. The fact that my body was able to recognize that whether that embryo wasn't the best or my body wasn't yet ready to sustain a pregnancy long term, the fact that my body was able to recognize that and release that, I have to be grateful for it, you know? There's something working, there's some movement, there's some progress, and that is something that I just have to keep reminding myself because it is a huge thing. Now, because I was in such protection mode and, you know, it was just so early on of finding out, and I know a lot of people don't like to share pregnancy news until after the first trimester because so much can happen in the first trimester, but I really do encourage to talk to someone because it was so early. I didn't really tell anyone, and that is just kind of a strange topic to bring up. You know, I was texting friends like, hey, how are you, and thinking of calling them, but it's, how do you do that? How do you go about calling someone and saying like, listen, I have devastating news, do you want to hear about it? It's just, and I don't want to be that person, and I'm sure a lot of people going through infertility don't want to be that person to share that burden and to place that burden on anyone else in any capacity. So I know a lot of women are afraid of saying anything in the first trimester, and it's dreadful. It's dreadful when you have to go through it yourself. It's dreadful when you don't have that like ability to release something like this. It's rough. You don't want to be putting that burden on anyone, but it's just, it is kind of awkward to bring up. It's just strange. I posted my first video about opening up about this whole infertility journey at the beginning of August. Probably around my period, like a little before, a little after, I don't remember exactly. But I technically got pregnant on the ovulation after I posted that video. Does that mean something? I have no idea. Is that the answer? I have no idea. But I do have to put two and two together logically and realize that me openly talking about it released a huge burden that I apparently was putting on myself. It's interesting how that finally gave me some kind of progress in all of this. I stopped feeling these negative emotions of, I don't know, shame or disappointment or whatever it was, and I kind of, by putting it out there, normalized it for myself, so it didn't feel like a burden on my own, because if someone wanted to watch it, they can, but I think being able to connect with so many people that I did, so many people reached out, and that positivity, that light that I haven't felt in a long time because I was in the dark for so long, I 100% think it had an effect on actually getting pregnant, even though I'm not anymore, but yeah. So what now? My husband had suggested to me that we take a break. He actually took this news pretty hard, but he suggested that we take a break completely. And when he first mentioned that, I kind of freaked out inside. I was like, what do you mean take a break? Like, we're almost there. Like, no, we can't take a break. Like, let's keep trying. But once I sat with it for a little bit, I cannot remember the last time we took a break from trying. And, you know, trying or not trying means something different to everyone. I need a cycle. I need a time frame, like a month, where that 2-week wait between ovulation and, you know, possible pregnancy or getting your period, I need there to be no chance. I need there to be no stress. I cannot remember when that 2-week wait, I don't remember the last time I wasn't hyper-focused on it, hyper-focused on my period or hyper-focused on the possibility of getting a positive test. I don't remember. And there's so many things that I tell myself I can't do during that 2-week wait because if there's a pregnancy happening, like you can't be doing things. I mean, I already kind of live as if I'm pregnant, like there's no drinking, no partying, none of that. But even like holistic things, getting certain injections of vitamins or doing whatever it is, you know, cryo or any kind of wellness things. So we are completely taking a break from that. I think it's important to realize when you need that break. I think it's important to realize or recognize when just emotions are getting too high and the roller coaster is just getting to be too much. And especially after this, especially the process of miscarrying, I need to replenish my body a little bit more. I have to just give it a chance to level out before we try again. I mean, God forbid we try this cycle, I get pregnant and this happens again. Like that will break me. Like I can't. I can't. So I just need to get back into a positive mindset. I just need to feel positive emotions and kind of enjoy our time together for a little bit, because it's gotten to be too much. And we're going on a little trip soon for my husband's birthday, so I want to enjoy that. So that is that. If you have experienced any kind of loss, if you are struggling to conceive, my heart is with you. It's rough, but I'm sending you love and light and positivity and support and all of the good vibes, because it's needed in this, and I hope that you have an abundance of it. So yeah, that's it, and thank you for watching. Bye now.